All right, we are jumping straight into a crisis that is unfolding as we speak. There are some absolutely explosive claims that have just rocked the Middle East. We're talking about the alleged assassination of Iran's supreme leader, Ali Khamenei. So let's break down what we know. And it all kicked off with this. Just a stunner of an announcement from former U.S. President Donald Trump, posting on social media that one of the most powerful and entrenched leaders in the entire region was gone. You can just imagine the fallout. That one statement, claiming Khamenei's death was the result of a successful joint U.S.-Israeli strike, sent immediate shockwaves through an already incredibly volatile part of the world. Okay, so what exactly was the claim? Let's unpack the core allegation here and the initial details that were released about this supposed operation. So, the story that emerged was one of almost surgical precision. The target wasn't just some random building in Tehran. It was Khamenei's specific residential compound. And to back it up, before and after satellite images started making the rounds, appearing to show the compound perfectly fine one minute and then just a pile of rubble the next. And almost instantly, you had this one event fracture into two completely different realities. You've got the story coming from the US, and then you have a totally different story coming from inside Iran. Just starkly opposite pictures of what was going on. From the American side presented by Trump, this was framed as this massive, undeniable intelligence victory. The message was, our tracking is so good, our partnership with Israel is so seamless, that a figure this powerful simply had no way to hide. But he didn't stop there, not by a long shot. He immediately pivoted and made a direct appeal to the Iranian people, basically calling on them to rise up, take to the streets, and use this moment to spark a revolution. He even spoke directly to Iran's security forces, offering them future immunity if they helped bring down the regime. Okay, so that's the view from one side, but what was the official story being broadcast inside Iran's own borders? Well, it could not have been more different. Instead of a revolution, what Iranian state media showed was a nation seemingly united in grief. You had news anchors openly weeping on live television while reading the news. You could even hear the camera crews crying in the background. The message across the board was shock, mourning, and a rising call for revenge. This creates such a confusing picture for anyone trying to figure out what's really going on. On one hand, you have state media showing these massive crowds, vowing to fight the U.S. But then at the same time, you have other videos bubbling up, supposedly showing people celebrating, tearing down statues of Khamenei. The thing is, the authenticity of those anti-government videos has been seriously questioned, so it's almost impossible to know what the real public mood is. So, beyond what the media was showing, what was the official government's response on the world stage? Well, let me tell you, it was not weakness or collapse. It was pure, unfiltered defiance. And the first major diplomatic signal we got didn't come from Tehran. It actually came from New York City, at the United Nations, where Iran's ambassador had a very direct and very tense exchange with his American counterpart. Now, you have to understand the context here. In a moment of absolute crisis, this isn't a call for peace. This isn't a plea for de-escalation. Delivered at the UN, this was interpreted by everyone as a thinly veiled threat, a very clear warning. And why does a statement like that matter so much? Because it was a signal to the entire world. It showed that Iran's leadership, far from crumbling like Trump had called for, was ready to respond aggressively. They were not about to back down. And that aggressive response, it wasn't just talk. It was immediate, and it was military. Iran did not waste a single second showing its hand. Within hours, reports started flooding in, missile strikes hitting Dubai, attacks on other major cities across the Middle East. And then, in this totally surreal twist, Khamenei's own official social media accounts, which were still active, started posting videos of these very missile launches. They were broadcasting their own retaliation to the world in real time. Now, to really wrap your head around the scale of this threat, we can look at this map, which was reportedly published by Israeli security forces. It gives us a really clear and, frankly, a very sobering picture of just how far Iran's arsenal can reach. And this map just lays out the strategic danger perfectly. This isn't just a threat to their immediate neighbors. We're talking about missiles that can cover all of Israel, hit key U.S. military bases in the region, and reach major economic hubs like Dubai and Doha. And look at this. The reach even extends into parts of southern Europe. And all of this brings us to the most dangerous question of all. the one that has international observers just watching minute by minute. What's next? An attack on a high-value American military asset, like a U.S. aircraft carrier, would be a whole different ballgame. It would change everything. So this entire fast-moving situation has put the international community in just an unbelievably tricky spot. You have global powers watching this with bated breath because the stakes here are absolutely astronomical. Then Russia comes out with an official statement and they immediately raise the stakes. By using a phrase like radiological catastrophe, they're not just condemning the strikes. No, they are explicitly hinting that this conflict is now creeping towards a potential nuclear dimension. That's a huge deal. In this reaction, it's all rooted in geopolitics, right? For both Russia and China, the current Iranian government is a really important strategic partner in the Middle East. A successful regime change, especially one led by the U.S., would be a major blow to their influence in the region. And this all leads us to the ultimate fear, the one that many analysts are talking about right now. The possibility that if Iran feels like it's backed into a corner, it could decide to just end all the ambiguity, conduct an underground nuclear test, and officially declare itself a nuclear power. And really, that's the question hanging over all of this. This entire episode is just a chilling cautionary tale. It shows how quickly a targeted strike and a single social media post can spiral into a global crisis. And now, the entire world is just waiting to see what happens next and hoping we can avoid the devastating consequences.